Welcome to The System Works, the lifestyle channel that shows you a practical way to live, the what's in it for you. The System Works. Own it. Welcome to another episode of The System Works. I'm your host, Ernest Phillips, and today's topic is, what is your value? So I'm a big fan of the show Antique Roadshow because they know your value. They have someone who looks at something and says, this is worth way more than you thought. And the reason is they understand the value of it. Now, the person who owns it, they don't. You are probably the person that doesn't know what your value is. So I'm going to show you how to know what your value is, how to find it, and how to enjoy it. So, a really interesting thing happened this past week. I was on a road trip with three people, total of three people, and it was basically a 20-hour road trip. And I'm not a good driver anymore long-term or long distance. Reason is, the older I've gotten, the more I've had this inner ear issue. It makes it terrifying for me to drive over bridges, driving through a long stint of construction. It practically paralyzes me. And that's not the kind of mindset you want while you're driving a car. So the majority of the trip, there and back, I did virtually no driving. And when I say virtually none, I did 2 hours at the very end of the trip coming back. So, did I feel worthless? No. Did I feel lesser? No. But the job was to drive. Yes. You're a man, so you should be driving. Yeah, okay. Here's what I knew. I knew my limitations. Did I feel bad about that? Yeah. Did I wish that it was different? Yeah. Did I want to contribute more? Well, yeah. But I couldn't in that way. So why didn't my value drop in that situation? Because my value isn't based upon how I'm needed in every situation. My value is based upon what I can do in my area of excellence. So let's take a nice little couple. You may have known them. One's named Travis. Another one has this last name of Swift. And let's look at those two for a little bit. All right, if we take Travis, who is going to be one of the best tight ends of all time. He will be considered that. He will most likely be in the Hall of Fame, first ballot Hall of Famer. If we ask him to be a lineman, do we think he could do it? Probably. He's big, he's powerful, he is strong. Okay. What about if he, to be a quarterback? You know what? I'll bet you could pull it off for a little bit, but he's not going to be able to be a starting quarterback, but he could fill in some gaps. Okay, great. What about a public speaker? Oh my gosh. What about an actor? Oh my gosh. He's got a ton of skills. But what happens if I need someone to fix my car? How's Travis going to do there? I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. What if we take him out of his area of excellence and put him at something else? Is he going to be the same amazing? What about if we just change sports? I don't know about you, but I'd give about $5 to $10 to watch him try to do a balance beam. I'd pay a few extra dollars to watch him try to do the rings or the pommel horse. You take him out of his area of excellence and you're going to get a completely different thing. But here's the thing. We don't measure his value based upon all of that other stuff. We measure him on the stuff that he does. Okay, let's take Swift. There's a lot of Swifties out there, and if you're out there, I say hello because it took me a long time to appreciate her value. When she came on the scene, I was still a big fan of Michael Jackson. And when I found out that she had broken one of his records for #1, I was salty. I was not happy. I was like, this bubblegum stuff. I don't know who she is. I don't care. And I was unnecessarily upset. I was. And any of the people close to me, you know. But then I started to do some research on her. And I started to look into it, and I started to read how she writes her own music and how she has become an expert in her craft. And I started to appreciate her more for what she does. Now, if I take her out of the music industry and I say, okay, again, I need my car fixed. Will she be able to fix it? Knowing her, probably. She just seems like the most amazing human being out there. But if you take someone out of their area of excellence and you start to measure them in that regard, it's going to be a whole different thing. I'm certainly not going to hire Taylor Swift to do my taxes. First of all, I got a tax guy and he's awesome. So I'm not going to ask her to do those things that are outside of that. I'm not going to ask to run a race. I'm not going to ask of those things. But I'm also not going to judge her negatively for those. I'm not going to have my evaluation of who she is and what she brings to the table in those areas. But what do? We measure ourselves by the unbelievably unattainable. We measure ourselves on what we think we can do. We measure ourselves based upon the one thing that we did the best that one time. We measure ourselves against other people that we have no business doing. People who have got more experience and they have more talent and they have more skills and they've had more coaching and they have had more training. And we go, well, I didn't do as good as they did. You're not supposed to measure yourself that way. That's not going to be a fair measurement. And more than that, it's not going to be accurate. So, what did I do on that road trip? I became the supporter. I realized that since I wasn't driving, one of the things I could do was make the driver better. So I handled either music or the DJ, or I handled snacks, handing the snacks, making sure they're easy for them to eat, making sure they have what they need to drink, making sure all of those things. I did my best to stay awake almost the entire time with some short naps here and there so I could be available for conversation. It's easier to drive and enjoy the trip when you're having conversation. So mentally, I had a variety of topics and things that I believed they might want to talk about. I did my research ahead of time so I could be a good helpmate. I could be a servant leader. And now, when we got done with the first trip, the driver is actually telling me they're thanking me for all the things I did. And I'm giving you the same face that you're probably feeling. I was like, I didn't do anything. I barely did anything. You guys drove. And they were just thankful for the things that I did because it made the trip easier and better. So now if I had felt less, I wouldn't have been thinking about those things. If I had felt like evaluating myself based upon the stuff that I could not do, I would not have been as much fun. I would not have been as alert. I would not have been thinking about, okay, what can I do? Because I would have been so focused on what I can't do. And I would have been so focused on what I don't do. And this is the trap that we get. So if you want to know your value, think about the things that you do well. Think about the things that you've had success in. Think about those things and start to measure yourself and your value in that area. Because I promise you, you put a camera on me and you give me a microphone, I'll be okay. This is what I do. This is what I love to do. And I've always loved to do this. You give me paperwork, and I promise you, within 90 days, I'm going to be on a 90-day performance plan because that's not my thing. That's just not my thing. And any manager that I've ever had, one, sorry about that. And two, for a lot of you, I warned you. I told you in the interview, I'm not good at paperwork. So you have to give me a job that doesn't require that. And then when you changed it and then I didn't do good, I'm pointing at you. That was your fault. I gave you informed decision making. So what's the tug tip? It's hard to appreciate what you don't value. And it's hard to value what you don't see. You are the owner of you. If you've watched the episode about ownership, this is what we're talking about. Own you. If you watch the episode on personal branding, on exclusion dating, you own you. You are going to be the first person to be able to recognize your value. So look for it. Now, if you struggle with this, ask someone close to you that has known you, that likes you, and say, what are the things you see me do well? But I'm going to challenge you. Do not ask the question until you're ready to accept the answer, because that person is now one of the judges on the Antique Roadshow. They are able to see the value of what you really bring in a way that you can't see, that you didn't know. So trust that expert. That expert is there because they know you and you ask them. So do that. Now, what's in it for you? You know, just some little things like, increased self-esteem, increased self-worth, the ability to bring more to the table. You know, those little things that are nice to have. So we thank you for watching. I want to give a quick shout out to one of my biggest supporters, Metro Studios. If you've watched through the website for the YouTube channel, they are the ones that put this together. They do the SEO work. They have been a longtime partner. They did the my evolutionei.com website. They put together the Values Fingerprint website. They're amazing. Go check them out, www.metro-studios.com. All right, and we will see you next time. The system works. We hope you enjoyed this episode of The System Works. Have fun with the action steps. Enjoy the Wi-Fis. Click like, click subscribe, and comment. The good and the bad, we like them all. We look forward to seeing you next time. The system works. Own it.